Good job, NASCAR, taking away the stage breaks at COTA. We had a fascinating race. We had some, we're going to have all types of racing throughout the year. We're going to have super speedway racing where they're in a pack, and we're going to have, mile and a half races where they're running side by side. Where we need strategy races. We need fuel mileage races. We need a little bit of everything. And this certainly checked some of those boxes, gave us a bit of an IndyCar open wheel F1 style strategy race where different teams were on different strategies. Now, honestly, the two-stop strategy looked to be the best. But Tyler Reddick was so fast, he could make 3 stops and still beat the field. Most of the other guys that were on 3 stops weren't as quick as the 45, and so that strategy wasn't really panning out for them as well as it was for Tyler, but Tyler was just so fast. And so congratulations to those guys. It's impressive what he's been able to do on road courses in a very short period of time being in the Cup Series. But I enjoyed the race. It felt longer. I don't know why it felt longer without the stage breaks, and that's consuming a ton of time. That should make the race feel shorter, but the race felt longer for me. We had a caution for dirt on the track. And, here's something that I wanted to say about that. So I was watching at home, right? Caution comes out for dirt on the track. We just watched Denny come through there and spin out. He missed the corner and got in the dirt and went around. My first reaction to that was probably similar to a lot of people that I know, at least. That didn't need to happen. Why'd you have to throw the yellow for dirt? It's just dirt on the track. All right? The one thing that I'm sitting at home in my living room, quiet living room, watching the race, and just as opinionated as hell, right? Just sitting there, oh man, look at that. Boy, this is good, this is bad, right? Watching the race from the comfort of my own home and listening to what the broadcasters are telling me. That's the information I got. I don't have my tablet open. I ain't listening to driver communication or nothing like that. Some fans do. The one thing that I don't know or I don't have information about when that caution comes out is, well, how many drivers are complaining about that? All right?
Right.
So my first reaction was, what the hell, NASCAR? Why'd you throw that yellow? Had a damn good race going. You screw the flow up. My next reaction was, well, I don't know how many drivers might have been complaining about that. I'm sure Denny was after he spun out in it. And if 2, 3, 4 guys complain, if they're hearing the chatter over the radio and NASCAR monitors all of this, if they have anybody complaining about any kind of treachery on the racetrack, debris, dirt, they have to react. They can't ignore it. Right?
Well, yeah, they have to consider it or take it seriously.
They do.
Yeah.
And so
they may ignore throwing a caution for it.
All right. And so everybody, some people are like, well, that dirt's been there for 20 laps. Well, for at least, a handful of laps, they were more than likely getting a bunch of chatter on the radio from drivers. And so I'm going to give them a break on that one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Hey, man. If I'm NASCAR, I'm in the booth and I got drivers hollering, I'm a mile away from this damn corner. I know I got some guys down there, track workers that are standing there looking at it, but they're I don't know who these people are that got their eyes on it. So I'm gonna take the drivers' voices into consideration and maybe throw the yellow. Hey, let's get that cleaned up.
But you're assuming that drivers were complaining about it.
Well, I'm pretty sure they were.
Because you just said that you weren't listening to drivers.
I know, but I'm pretty sure they were.
Okay.
All right.
If we know one that was.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure more than one. There was a lot of dirt on the racetrack. When they put a camera on it, I'm going to tell you right now, as a driver, I would have been raising hell about that.
Yeah, you would.
Except the only guys that didn't complain, the only guys that did not complain about the dirt were the guys that didn't want the yellow.
Right. Out front. Or strategically.
There'll be, there's races going on where there ain't shit on the racetrack and you got guys hollering about debris.
That's right.
Trying to pull, make some shit up because they need a yellow. Right. Now, NASCAR's hearing all this.
And on the contrary, if you need a yellow, you'll make the smallest little thing to be like there's a boulder out on the track.
And I'll throw some damn out of my car. Make a damn caution. Right?
Whoa.
Some people have done
that.
I'm just saying from a driver's point of view, some people have done that, right?
Have you ever done that?
I think I did one or
What?
I think I threw some padding out of my car once. I don't think that it got my caution that I wanted.
And you lost some padding.
Yeah.
Double whammy.
Well, we had the padding there just for that. We'd ride around.
What the hell? Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
This is the Bud days or Hendrick?
Bud days.
Yeah, Hendrick wouldn't have been so rebel.
Yeah.
But boy, yeah, Tony Jr.'s packing something, packing you a lunch to throw out the window just in case.
We didn't have an extra piece of padding. We had a piece of padding that would be the padding to choose if you needed to throw some padding onto the track. All right. So
I love that.
So there was okay. That caution to me really, I didn't want it. I had I'm watching the race. It's going great. Damn it, the caution's out. This changes everything. It takes a strategy out of it. We're not, you're not 100% sure in the moment exactly how this affects the race, right? The caution that I was a little more annoyed by was the 3-car. 3-car has a left rear tire issue. I didn't get to see what happened. I didn't get to see the rest of the racetrack where there was debris everywhere.
Yeah, this was late in the race.
Yeah, 10 laps to go, 11 laps to go. I'm sitting there watching a hell of a race, and I'm like, okay, damn, I see the 3 smoking coming off his car, but I didn't really get to look at how much debris was on the track. So, but anyways, got to take NASCAR's word for it that they threw that yellow and it was necessary.
Now hold up, I got a piece of information for you.
Good, yes, hear it.
If you look at the NASCAR race report, if we are talking about the same yellow, and I want to emphasize that, but this is the one where the 3 spun wrecked with Ross Chastain and a couple others. There's like 10 to go, like lap 60, 61, something like that. On the race report, it says that the yellow was thrown because the 1 car was stopped in turn 1.
All right.
And it was true. On door bumper clear, this is something I want to bring up. On door bumper clear, Freddie says that car, Ross Chastain, stayed there
intentionally
backwards, and then they threw the yellow, and then the safety car came out, or safety truck, and then he drove off. I'm just saying Denny Hamlin was penalized for manipulating a race.
Mm-hmm.
Ross Chastain, that was 10 to go. He stayed on the lead lap. He finishes in the top 5 because of other, restarts and stuff. How is that not manipulating the race?
It is.
And in the race report, it says that the caution was thrown because the 1 car stopped in turn 1.
Yeah. I mean, you would have to ask him and look at telemetry. I mean, you can say it. You can look at telemetry and see if he's trying to fire the car. You can see exactly what he's trying to do to the car to get it going, whether he's making that effort. NASCAR has that information, that data, to be able to tell whether.
I hope they look at it.
Right.
But listen, I'm not sitting there trying to rat somebody out, but I'm just saying, listen.
It's a great point to bring up, Mike. Yeah, it's a great point to bring up.
He could have won that dang race.
Yeah. Well, NASCAR would have to look at it and say, hey, man, we feel like that what you did here wasn't right, or maybe they find what they were looking for to feel good about it. I don't know. But anyway. I was wondering, so there it is. The 1 car stopped on the racetrack is what brings out that yellow. So NASCAR, again, is throwing the yellow for the right reasons, right? Got a car sitting there on the racetrack backwards in turn 1. That was the moment where the hit the fan.
That is right. The dominoes started to fall after that.
Yep. And so, drivers bear a lot of responsibility for the end of that race. But I'm biased, man. I'm partial to the drivers and don't put me in that box. All right. Don't take me in the toy store and tell me not to touch anything. All right. So if drivers, if you want them to be sharks, if you want them to be lions, if you want them to be fearless, if you want them to do whatever it takes, you got to be careful of the box you put them in. And you can't have, you can't. And I don't know who I'm talking to here. I'm certainly, judging by what we know, NASCAR had to throw these yellows, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the drivers bear some responsibility, but I also understand that, man, when you put drivers in a late caution situation, I don't know what else I can ask them to do.
Not only a late caution situation, but in a configuration that requires them to all funnel into a turn where they're 5 wide into 1 wide or 2 wide or whatever.
That's my next.
Go ahead.
That's my next point.
Yep.
Track design. So listen, turn one is not a bad corner. I'm not saying whoever designed turn one did a bad job. Maybe that's not the first turn for the racetrack, right? Maybe there should have been a different turn one, right? Take that corner and swap it with another one. Maybe we don't have the type of restarts that we have. Maybe we get through turn one without somebody being backwards 95% of the time. Think about turn one at Indy Road Course. That's a terrible.
We've debated that.
Terrible freaking situation and scenario. It's great on the first restart of the race. Yeah, they're going to get through there. It's a whole race to run. They're not all going to take these crazy chances, but 3 laps to go, 2 to go, a green, white, checker shootout, and you're going to funnel them all down into that. I mean, it's unrealistic.
Unrealistic in our racing series. Shouldn't we say that?
Yes.
Because, we had the other guys from the other racing series in this COTA race this Sunday, and they were like, you guys are barbaric.
Well, do you feel like COTA was designed for NASCAR racing?
No, I think that's kind of what your point is.
That's right. Do you feel like the IndyCar road course, or the Indy road course was designed for NASCAR racing?
Absolutely not.
Right. So, I mean, I got to put a little bit of responsibility on the turn being what it is, right? The turn, having the drivers the ability to get 10 wide and then have to funnel back down to, like drivers have said this all the last 48 hours. If you do not block that inside, and if you're not willing to go wherever everybody else is going, you're going to get used up.
Somebody's going. Yeah, somebody's taking it. If you go in racing clean, you will be a victim.
All right, so Jordan Taylor, great race car driver, fast all weekend, clean racer. Has never raced in a race like this before, doesn't do bumper cars, and how did he fare in those restarts?
Awful.
Right. So that's the extreme example of how you will get treated if you don't do what Alex Bowman does, right? He has to go, he's forced down that wreck where the 99 gets turned around, or the 99 and 19 get together. That's not Alex's fault.
No, it was Ross's.
Ross dives down, right, far, far low to do what Ross needs to do.
Which is bowl people out of the way.
Let me make my point. All right. I know you're wanting to get on Ross, but I'll let you get on in a second. Ross dives really low. He's still in the right. All right. There's other cars going with him. Bowman has to go down there. If he doesn't, he's going to get used up, right?
That's right.
If he doesn't, he's going to be the 19 spun out backwards.
That's right.
So he goes down to block Ross, but they're all now pot committed into that corner. Bam, 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 running the back of each other, and they end up going straight into the cars that are trying to turn the corner. And so they're all, if you don't do whatever freaking necessary, you're going to get used up. And whatever necessary means, put your car and yourself in bad situations where you're going to bang into people and get beat around. It's destined for failure. That turn, the way it's designed, that turn in the Indy Road Course, turn one, that's in a green, white, checkered, it's going to be ugly for a handful of people every time. And so, I don't know what you do about that. I don't know how you fix that other than hope that you don't have late yellows, right? Because I don't love these late yellows. Now, that's a whole nother thing. Like, how come, so when I was a race car driver and I'm running the race and we get a late yellow with 3 to go, it would piss me off to no end. I don't care if that late yellow actually put me in a better position to win the race. I never looked at it like, here's my opportunity. I was so mad that I ran 495 miles and some ticky-tack bullshit, and it was always ticky-tack bullshit in my mind, whether it really was or not, brought out a yellow. Like, we really couldn't finish the last 2 laps because of this. I always would get really pissed off about it. That was as a driver years ago. Right or wrong, right? If it's wrong, it's wrong. Now, as a fan or a broadcaster, you would think that I would like it. Oh, hell yeah. More overtime. Woo, free racing. Drama. All right. They're going to be knocking each other around. Yay. I don't. I still hate it. The moment the caution comes out, I have the exact same emotional reaction that I did as a race car driver. And it's frustrating because there was such a great, pure, awesome event happening and playing out, and it gets interrupted and turns into a shit show. And we were on the grand stage. We had all kinds of people all across the world watching us because of who was in the race. IMSA drivers, F1 champions. We got all kinds of new eyeballs on us. And we basically invited all these new guys to the party and then threw a big fight at the end.
Okay.
And so it's a bit embarrassing, and frustrating because, damn it, it was this race that I didn't want to end until it wasn't. And then I was like, damn, will this ever end? Damn, let's not have enough. Don't do this again. Don't go. Because I just was ready for it to be over with because it was taking the shine off of what had been a really nice day.
Yeah. Can I just make a point?
Go ahead.
How am I going to do this? Let's see here. All right, because I almost don't want to even use COTA as an example because I agree with you that I wanted it to end too. It started to get silly. Like, all right, I don't know if I was embarrassed by it, but it was silly. And honestly, I just felt like if Tyler Reddick doesn't win this race, then it's embarrassing because there was clearly a class of the field. And it was him.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't win it because of these charades at the end because they can't seem to keep it on the track, and I mean NASCAR's having to throw cautions because of course they do, that they did nothing wrong. I'm just saying, then I would have been embarrassed. But let me just make a point. I go back to like Vegas or Phoenix, and I'm thinking, man, without a green, white, checkered restart, those races are as forgettable as they come. They really are. And I'm listening to all these drivers talking. I've been listening to Denny. I mean, everybody's talking about maybe we should go single file restarts at the end. Or maybe we should just get away with the green, white, checkered, right? All that stuff. And I'm just like, wait a second. For a second, let's just say, who are we trying to be in NASCAR? Like, what is our identity? Can't we just be something that we are and not feel like we have to go mirror other racing series? Like, yeah, maybe we are the ones that fight at the end of the party. Or maybe we are more physical. That's what we've always been.
Yeah.
We're the bumper cars.
Yeah.
Yes, Kimi Räikkönen, Jensen Button. You're going to come into this series, you're going to have to, roll up your sleeves a bit more than what you would do in your series. Of course, that's his NASCAR. I don't know why we've got to be so embarrassed by that. Now, it did get silly at the end of COTA. That's why I'm saying I'm not really applying this in the very specific example of COTA. I'm just saying I like the fact that we have green, white checkers. I like that we're more physical. Yeah. I enjoy that as a race fan. And I know the drivers can be, cranky about it. One week they're the pusher, the receiver. One week they're the giver. And it's like, but that's also part of the entertainment value for me, is that you can be hypocritical and we can sit there and scrutinize that. But the fact is that you better roll up your sleeves when you come to NASCAR because by God, that's what we are.
Yeah. I feel like I can use COTA as a specific example because those drivers were in the race and they were bringing a lot of attention to us. And so for that one moment, those people will not be watching next week. All right? The people that tuned in to see Kimi race and the people that tuned in to see Jordan race won't be tuning in for Richmond. And I don't mind a green, white checkered. I think it's great to try to get a green flag finish for our fans. But I think I am fine saying to the ticket purchaser for this race this weekend at Richmond, I'm going to give you one attempt. Not unlimited attempts. This ain't a damn circus. I'm going to give you one. I'm going to try my hardest one time to get you a green flag finish. I'm not going to end under caution. I'm going to go one time for a green, white, checkered. That, for me, if I'm coming to a race, that's enough. I want you to just try one time. All right? I don't need 3. I don't need unlimited. I don't think we need to go to single file restarts. And that right there would have addressed the issue. And that right there would have stopped the silliness from continuing, right? Having a limitation. Too much cake will make you sick. Cake is great, a good piece of cake. But damn, do you need the whole pie? Do you need unlimited cake? Just eat all you can until you want to throw up? We want these F1 guys to come back. We want the IMSA guys to come back. But I feel like what they were exposed to at the end, for better or worse, whether you like it or not, whether you care or not, I think, I just would have rather them had not seen our worst, or in being, been a part of us being our worst selves, right? I will say this though. This is, I don't put really any of this on NASCAR. Usually, man, we're quick to call them out. The other thing I want to say is NASCAR is a family, right? We're all in it. We're all in it. Everybody in the industry. And we can all say whatever the hell we want. We have. In weeks past, we've been critical of NASCAR, critical of drivers, whatever. But damn anybody outside of that bubble say anything. Even the same shit.
Right.
Not even the same shit.
Right.
I might say, you know what? That was embarrassing. I don't want to hear nobody outside that fucking bubble say
it was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing.
I feel the same way.
I'm pissed.
Right.
You're pissing me off.
Right.
Don't do it.
Don't talk about my mom.
Don't say that.
I'll talk about
That's
my mom.
right. Man, ain't that funny?
It's true.
I was sitting there. I was like, I found myself having that happen throughout the day yesterday. I was like, man, I think this way. I feel this way. And then I'd hear somebody outside the bubble, outside the industry say it, and I'd go, that's bullshit, man. You better not be saying that. I don't like that. I don't like you saying that.
So do you even mean the drivers that were outside
yeah.
Okay, so they were very critical of it.
They were. I thought that, some of the things that they said was I would say 99% of the stuff that those F1 drivers and Jordan and Button and all them guys said, I thought it was good. They were tired. It was hard. It was hot. It was pushing and shoving.
Yeah, falling out of the seat.
Right. And I'd never seen anything like it. I never experienced anything like it before. But then there were a couple things that they said where I was like, hey, man, you're getting a little close to the bubble.
Right.
Or you're pushing the issue a little bit. You're getting a little
hitting a nerve.
About to get offended.
Right.
Careful now. It's funny how that happens, right?
Listen, I think that sort of informs my position on this. Is that like, yeah, okay, you have your opinion. I understand it. But the fact of the matter is, I just don't want to be ashamed of who we are. Yeah. And I'm not embarrassed by it that we don't, wear the tuxedo to the dance. We wear the jeans, and that's okay. It's who we are. I don't mind it.
Some days I'm okay if the fight breaks out that ends the party. But damn, sometimes I just want to party all night, man.
I hear you.
All right.
NASCAR is the party all night.
Last night, no.
Literally, it went all night.
No, at COTA, somebody's buddy didn't like somebody else's buddy, and they fought, and it ended the party.